Alright, we got a Walther PK380, and I've learned a little bit of disassembly. I've noticed that there is nothing online about a full disassembly of the slide. There's full disassembly of the frame, and there's a basic strip down, for cleaning and everything. So make sure there's no magazine in it, make sure there's no ammo in it, and you're going to need the Walther key, or if you have a Schrader core remover, those guys who work on tires or air conditioning. I actually got a couple from when I used to do air conditioning work. So you're going to stick it in the keyhole on the left side. You're going to turn it counterclockwise, pull the takedown lever down, and boom, slide comes right out. So I'm going to set that over there. Next, what you want to do, well, you don't have to, but remove the recoil spring. Be careful because the spring is very long, and go ahead and remove the barrel. So you want to pay close attention how your safety selector sits in there along with the firing pin. I don't know if you could tell, but the firing pin has a flat base, so the flat base is going to be on the bottom, towards the bottom part of the slide. And when you take the safety handles off, there's little bearings on the inside that leave that little marking that falls into little grooves. So you want to be careful not to lose those. So you want to go ahead and take those off. As you can see, there's the little BB or bearing, where you want to call it, that sits right inside the lever, and it follows those two little dimples and it sits in place. So you want to flip it over, you want to take out the other one. See, look, I dropped one. Go ahead and stick that back in there. And also, not sure if you can really tell, but there's a spring inside where the little BB goes. So be careful not to lose those. Next, what you want to do, you want to take a punch, you're going to want to push the firing pin all the way in, and then you want to slide the selector bar out. Now remember which way you take it out, because you're going to see a little notch. There's going to be a little flat surface on that notch, and so your hammer is going to rest against that in the firing mode, and then in the safe mode it's going to come up and it's going to push the hammer back where it can't hit the firing pin. So you want to remember that it sits right in just like that. And then you want to notice flat part of this firing pin is on the same side as the inside of the slide. Not towards the side, but towards the slide. Now, what you want to do, you want to take a screwdriver, you want to push the firing pin in. And there's a notch, the little firing pin retaining bushing. Whoa! So there's the firing pin, and there's the firing pin bushing. Remember, there's that flat surface. And so what's going to happen, there's a little notch. This is where the safety plunger rests upon. And you can see the safety plunger right there. Firing, the spring's still in there. Now, you get a smaller punch, or even a scribe, you want to work that spring and there's the spring. So once you get the spring out, you can take a pair of needle nose and you can pull the plunger out. Now there's a spring inside of it, so you don't want to lose that spring either. And you can see the little groove for the plunger. And so when your firing pin goes in, your safety plunger, when it's depressed on that catches right there. So that's how that works. So that's the reason why you got to make sure you put this firing pin in a certain way so it'll be able to catch. So now I'm going to put it back together. Now you don't want to go too deep on this firing pin, on the bushing. You don't want too much pressure on it. But you do want to make sure it's further enough down so the safety selector doesn't hang up on it. Now Walther, I think, will tell you 15 pounds, but I don't have a torque screwdriver. So as you can see, flat surface is in line with the internal of the slide, not the sights. Another thing, you got your extractor bar. There's a pin that goes right in there. So what you will want to do on that, you want to drive the pin out. This thing is a little booger, so I'm not going to take it out. I already took it out once today. But there is a spring and a pin directly behind the extractor bar, and then there's one pin right here. So that's all that is on that. And then like your sight, you got a pin on your rear sight, and your front sight, it looks like it just screws into place. So now I'm going to put, you got to remember, see the little groove, the little notch out, and there's a flat surface. So you want to make sure you put that in that direction. And you'll see the firing pin pop right back out. So now we get to remember which side. So you can see how that looks like it raises up and raises down. Got that back in there. So now you're going to place the barrel back in place. And now you got your guide rod and recoil spring. So I decided to cheat. What I do, I go ahead and push the spring down, take a pair of needle nose, and I hold it down. You don't want to go too hard. Slide it in place, get it right on the first groove, and then let go. Very simple. Easy peasy. And then put her slide back in place. Turn it back clockwise, pull it out. Boom. Now watch. So right now, with the F showing means it's ready for fire. The S showing means safety. As you can see, see the gap right there? When I push it into fire, the gap's gone. So that means the hammer is resting against the firing pin. Now the hammer is not resting against the firing pin. But see, I can pull this trigger all day long, so it all determines which way your safety selector is sitting. So that is it for the Walther PK380.